Coco Gauff and Alexandra Eala just shared the court at Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, and the practice footage has fans buzzing about a potential fourth-round showdown. These former doubles partners turned potential rivals are on the same side of the draw, which means one of them might have to eliminate the other. The practice session reveals exactly how prepared both players are heading into the tournament. If Coco Gauff and Alexandra Eala meet in the fourth round of the Australian Open, who are you picking to win, and why? Drop your predictions in the comments. Coco Gauff and Alexandra Eala just practiced together at center court of Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne Park, and the video shared by Eala's father Michael has tennis fans losing their minds over what this could mean for the Australian Open. These two aren't just random practice partners who happen to find court time together. They're former doubles teammates who know each other's games intimately. They're both incredibly talented young players representing the future of women's tennis. And most importantly, they're on the same side of the draw, which means they could potentially face each other in the fourth round. Let's break down why this practice session matters and what it reveals about both players heading into the first Grand Slam of 2026. First, the backstory. Eala and Gauff teamed up for doubles at the Italian Open last year, and they weren't just there for fun.
Hi everybody, it's Alex and Coco here. Thank you so much for all the support that you've been giving us this week, and hopefully in our next match, a lot of you will come out and watch.
Yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Super happy to be playing with Alex, and hope you guys can keep supporting us. And we don't like Team Coachella, so pick a new name.
Okay, so another name maybe. Another name. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
They made a legitimate run, reaching the quarterfinals before losing to the reigning champions Sara Errani and Jasmine Paolini in a tight match, 5-7, 6-3, 7-10. That quarterfinal loss came against serious competition. Errani is ranked number 3 in the world in doubles. Paolini is number 7 in singles. These aren't players you embarrass yourself against, and the fact that Eala and Gauff pushed them to a match tiebreak in the third set shows they had real chemistry together. Doubles partnerships reveal a lot about how players complement each other. You learn your partner's tendencies, their shot patterns, how they handle pressure, where they like to position themselves on the court. Gauff and Eala spent that Italian Open week studying each other's games in intimate detail. Now fast forward to the Australian Open. Eala is ranked 49 in the world, her career-high ranking and a massive achievement for someone from the Philippines, where tennis infrastructure doesn't compare to powerhouse nations. Gauff is ranked number 3 in the world, a 2-time Grand Slam champion, WTA Finals champion, and one of the absolute favorites to win the title in Melbourne. And they're both in the upper half of the 128-player draw. Here's where the math gets interesting. If both players win their early round matches, which is far from guaranteed but certainly possible, they would meet in the fourth round. That's when former doubles partners become opponents, when friendship takes a backseat to competition, when everything they learned about each other during that Italian Open week becomes tactical ammunition. The practice session at Rod Laver Arena takes on extra significance when you consider that context. They weren't just hitting casually to stay loose. They were studying each other, testing patterns, seeing what's working and what isn't heading into the tournament. And make no mistake, both players were scouting. Gauff was watching how Eala's game has developed since they last played together. Eala was getting a first-hand look at the level she needs to reach to compete with the absolute best players in the world. Let's talk about Eala's path to a potential Gauff matchup, because it's not going to be easy. Her first-round opponent is Alicia Parks, ranked 100 in the world. That ranking might make Parks seem like an easy opponent, but there's a terrifying detail that should give Eala's team nightmares. Parks shares the record for the fastest serve in women's tennis history with Venus Williams at 129 miles per hour. That's not a typo. Parks can absolutely bomb, serves at speeds that would make most male players jealous. If she's serving well, she's incredibly dangerous because she can win free points that Eala simply can't return. Eala will need to return exceptionally well, stay aggressive on second serves, and not let Parks dictate play with that massive weapon. It's a tough first-round draw for someone trying to make a deep run. If Eala gets through Parks, and that's a genuine if, not a given, her second-round opponent would be either Karolina Muchova, ranked 19, or Jacqueline Christian, ranked 37. Muchova reached the French Open final in 2023 and is an incredibly talented player when healthy. Christian is a solid professional who's beaten top players before. Either opponent would be a serious challenge. This isn't a soft draw where Eala can cruise into the fourth round. She's going to have to earn every single match, fight through adversity, and play some of the best tennis of her career just to get to a potential Gauff showdown. Now let's look at Gauff's path, which is considerably easier on paper. Her first-round opponent is Kamila Rakimova of Uzbekistan, ranked 91 in the world. Gauff should win that match comfortably. She's facing someone ranked nearly 90 spots below her, and Gauff has the experience, power, and consistency to handle that level of competition without drama. The article describes Gauff as being projected to enter the fourth round and later with ease, and that's probably accurate. Gauff is a top 3 player in the world, facing opponents ranked outside the top 50 in the early rounds. Unless she has a complete breakdown or faces someone having the match of their life, she should cruise. But here's where things get interesting from a strategic perspective. Gauff knows she might face Eala in the fourth round. She's practiced with Eala recently. She's seen Eala's current form up close. And she's smart enough to understand that Eala is a dangerous opponent. Not because Eala is better than her, she's not, but because Eala has nothing to lose and everything to gain. When a lower-ranked player faces a top seed, the pressure dynamics completely flip. Gauff is expected to win. If she loses to Eala, it's a massive upset and a disappointing early exit from a Grand Slam where she's one of the favorites. If Eala loses to Gauff, nobody's surprised because Gauff is ranked 46 spots higher and has won multiple Grand Slams. That psychological dynamic can create problems for favorites. They play tight, they think too much about what they're supposed to do instead of just playing freely, and suddenly a match they should win becomes competitive. Eala, on the other hand, gets to play completely free. She's the underdog. She can go for big shots without fear. She can take risks because conservative play probably won't beat someone as good as Gauff anyway. And she has the added advantage of having played doubles with Gauff, which means she knows Gauff's patterns and tendencies better than most opponents. The practice session also reveals something about both players' mentalities heading into the tournament. They're confident enough to practice with a potential opponent. They're not scared of giving away secrets or showing too much. They trust their preparation and believe in their ability to execute regardless of what the other player knows. That's the mindset of champions. Insecure players avoid practicing with potential opponents because they're worried about giving away advantages. Confident players embrace it because they know their game is strong enough to win, even if the opponent has scouted them extensively. Gauff has that champion's confidence for obvious reasons. She's already won Grand Slams and proven she can handle the pressure of the biggest stages. Eala is developing that confidence as she breaks into the top 50 and starts competing regularly against elite players. The fact that Eala's father Michael shared the practice video publicly is also interesting. He's not hiding his daughter's preparation or worried about opponents studying the footage. He's proud of where she's at in her development and confident she can compete with anyone. And honestly, he should be proud. Eala has accomplished something remarkable for Philippine tennis. She's the highest-ranked Filipino player in history. She's competing in the main draw of Grand Slams as a legitimate contender, not just happy to be there. She's training at the Rafael Nadal Academy and rubbing shoulders with the elite players in the sport. The practice session with Gauff symbolizes how far Eala has come. 2 years ago, practicing with a top 3 player would have been a dream. Now it's just part of her normal preparation because she belongs at that level. But let's also be realistic about the matchup if it happens. Gauff is the heavy favorite for good reason. She's more experienced at the Grand Slam level. She's battle-tested in pressure situations. She's physically stronger and more consistent. Her serve is better. Her return game is better. On paper, Gauff should win comfortably. But tennis isn't played on paper. Upsets happen. Lower-ranked players catch fire and play the match of their lives. Favorites have off days or crumble under unexpected pressure. If Eala reaches the fourth round and faces Gauff, she'll need everything to go right. She'll need to serve well, return aggressively, dictate play with her forehand, and avoid getting dragged into long baseline exchanges where Gauff's consistency will eventually break her down. She'll also need Gauff to have an off day. Not a terrible day necessarily, but just a match where Gauff isn't playing her absolute best tennis. If Gauff brings her A-game, Eala probably loses. But if Gauff is at 80% and Eala is at 100%, things get interesting. The other factor is the crowd. Australian Open crowds are generally supportive of underdogs, and Eala's story, young player from the Philippines making history for her country, is exactly the kind of narrative that gets neutral fans on her side. Playing in front of a crowd that's pulling for her, feeling that energy and support, could lift Eala's level and potentially make Gauff uncomfortable. It's not enough to guarantee a win, but it's an advantage Eala can use. Regardless of whether they actually meet in the fourth round, the practice session serves a purpose for both players. Gauff gets high-quality hitting against a talented opponent who plays with variety and creativity. Eala gets invaluable experience competing at the pace and intensity of a top-3 player. Those practice sessions are where players make adjustments, test new tactics, and build confidence heading into tournaments. The fact that they're comfortable practicing together, despite being potential opponents, shows maturity and professionalism from both. The video itself shows both players hitting cleanly, moving well, and looking sharp. There's no indication either player is dealing with injuries or physical issues heading into the tournament. That's great news for tennis fans who want to see both of them at their best. It's also worth noting that Eala, arriving at the Australian Open and practicing at Rod Laver Arena, represents a massive moment for Philippine tennis. She's not sneaking into the tournament through qualifying. She's a direct entry into the main draw based on her ranking. She's practicing on the same center court where champions are crowned. That normalization of success, where Eala practicing with elite players becomes routine rather than remarkable, is exactly what Philippine tennis needs. The more Eala succeeds, the more young Filipino players will believe they can follow that path. The potential fourth-round matchup between Gauff and Eala would be must-watch television. Former doubles partners turned rivals. The established champion against the rising star. The American favorite against the Filipino pride. All the narrative elements are there for an epic match. But both players have to get there first, and that's far from guaranteed. Tennis is unpredictable. Upsets happen in the first round. Injuries occur. Players have off days. The draw is brutal for both of them in different ways. For now, the practice session is just preparation, but it's preparation loaded with subtext, strategy, and the possibility of an incredible future matchup. So there you have it. Coco Gauff and Alex Eala practiced together knowing they might face each other in the fourth round, and both looked sharp heading into the Australian Open. If you want coverage of their potential matchup and all the latest tennis drama, smash that like button and subscribe. Who's your pick if they meet? Gauff's experience or Eala's fearless underdog mentality?